That means a lot.
Nah, but Siri just watch you from TNT to everything else, man. Like you know what you're talking about. You know what you're doing. You master your craft. I appreciate you.
Hey man, I studied the best, man, and you were one of the ones I studied, man, even from a
Thank you.
music standpoint, man. So it is what it is.
Thank you, bro. Thank you,
Well,
man.
yo, touching down right now on Headkrack After Hours, man. This brother is a writer and a fighter. One of the nastiest MCs to ever do it. And if this dude's catalog isn't a part of your repertoire, you're playing yourself. Ladies and gentlemen, the one, the only, Royal Flush. What's up, my brother?
Yes, I'm all right, man. I'm all right. Thank you for having me.
Yo, thanks for pulling up. And the crazy thing is you never know how, far like this culture can take you around the world, man. I remember being a kid watching your videos come on, like, Rap City, Video Music Box and whatnot. And to have this full circle moment of being able to talk to you now, man, it means a lot because
Thank you.
I feel like you was one of the unsung heroes of lyricism from that era, and especially too at a time where there wasn't a lot of rappers coming out of Flushing.
Yes. I mean, all we had was Mike Geronimo and Large Professor, really.
Yo, man. But y'all
But
waved the flag proudly.
yes, we did. And at the time my album dropped, I mean, there was so many artists out, man. It was everybody just came out, from Pun to Mobb Deep to CNN. It was so much to Wu Tang. It was so much competition for me, but I still raised through. I still stand my ground and made it.
Yo, and you sprayed the game with an extended clip because I think, when Ghetto Millionaire came out, not so many people was dropping a 24 song album. At that,
No.
you gave us enough to eat for quite some time, and then double back and came for us later.
Yes. I mean, at that time, I thought that's how I used to judge albums, like how many songs was on it, the producers, we read the credits. So when I did my album, I was like, I want to do 22 to 24, and we just worked, and I just knocked them out every day. But that's how album's supposed to sound. I really don't like the album with 6 songs on it.
And it's crazy that's where the culture is at now, where it's like, yo, give us a song at a time, drop an EP, man. Like, no, I want to pop something in and listen to it from beginning to end non-stop, man.
I want to ride from New York to Atlanta and listen all the way through.
Fair enough, man. And I asked this of all the pioneers that come through, man. How did hip hop find you?
I was really like in the streets, and Mike Geronimo, he was really into hip hop, and my thing was I was able to tell whatever happened in the neighborhood, just in story wise. And then Mike Geronimo was like, you got to put that together in songs. And then he showed me how to do the 16s, and that was it from there. I just loved the craft. It was just art to me. It was something that I could talk about my life or what I go through, and I loved it.
What was the tipping point that made you decide, hey, street stuff is a little busy. Let me get poetic with it and start writing. Like, what was the thing that made you, really start taking it seriously?
When Mike Geronimo dropped his album, he went on a 60-day tour, and once I went on that tour, I kind of said, this is the life for me. And that's when I started writing a lot more and getting more serious with it. But it was from starting off being Mike Geronimo's hype man to going on tour to see how popular he was to loving that life.
Do you remember what the first rhyme you wrote that changed your life or that opened an additional door for you?
Yes, I think I was going in the studio with Large Professor, and I was a DJ. Me and Capone from CNN, that's my first cousin. We was both DJs. We was a group of DJs. And I went to do some cuts on Large Professor's song, and it was like somebody was supposed to show and didn't. It was like an open 16, and I just did it. And I was like, wow, this is changing for me.
Wow, man. And thank you so much for spilling into us, man, because, like, listen, the way you would bend words, paint pictures, and tell stories with what you do, there's not a lot of people who can capture that imagery the way you do.
Yes, and
Even
like,
still.
I tell a lot of MCs, like they say, when you write, what do you think of? I say, well, before I write, I have a start and a finish. So I don't just write and then keep going. I know how it's going to start, and I know how I'm going to finish. So all I got to do is put it together in words. And that's how I paint my pictures. from start to finish, man. That's what any artist should do. Don't just write and try to keep going. Oh, I did a first verse. I'll write the second verse later. No, you stop the whole movie.
Mhm.
I write the whole movie out and then I play it out.
And it's dope to see you dropping more content in the last couple years. You know, like I think last year we got the sit down, we got the Royal
Yeah.
Price show. You're staying active. However,
Yes.
you know, the biggest battle is ahead of us right now. Recently, I started seeing things on different blogs and whatnot about your lymphoma diagnosis. And I'm glad that you're on the better side of that, because not everybody gets the opportunity to catch it as late as you did and still be able to be 10 toes down and kicking, man. How did you react to just even the diagnosis to begin with?
When my doctor first told me I had it, I kind of ran out the hospital. I wasn't prepared for it. It's like when she said it, everything just went numb. So I wasn't prepared for it. And then, it was a fight that she was willing to take on because she said she never seen nobody with my type of cancer or that many lymphomas in my body. So it was real hard. It was more mental than it was physical, but I go through so much, man. Nobody sees the pain I go through at home. When I get dressed, I come outside just to breathe,
Hmm.
but it's an experience that I wouldn't wish on nobody, man. This is rough, rough for me,
Word.
rough for my family. It's a lot of times I got to be helped up out the bed. My wife got to feed me. It just coming outside just makes me want to breathe and fight.
Understood, man. And I'm glad that you have a support system of people around you that's helping you get through it, because not everybody is as lucky as you are. And when you went in initially for your diagnosis, was it a routine checkup, or was something wrong and you went in and that's when they found it?
I kind of felt it maybe like 8 months before I had it. I felt like a tumor on me,
Hmm.
but I just didn't pay it no mind. And then maybe like 3 months after that, I felt maybe like 6 or 7 on me, and I kind of knew I had something was going wrong. So I just gave up. I just gave up on everything. Music wasn't going right. Things wasn't going right. So I kind of gave up on everything. And then one of the lymphomas kind of pressed on my lungs and my kidneys. And then I had to be rushed to the hospital. And then that's when I had to start taking procedures on my life.
Got you. And the crazy thing about this business of music and entertainment, like, you go out there, you entertain people, man, contract to people's lives, but the love is instantaneous sometimes when it is, but when you need it later on down the road, it doesn't hit the same. You know what I'm saying? There isn't necessarily like medical benefits in the music
Yeah.
industry, at least not that I know of, right? So when you get hit with something like this and they tell you that the bill is what it is, what kind of fail safes did you have in place, if any, to cover stuff?
I mean, dealing with hip hop. When I first started making my money, I put away 100,000, just in case something happened to me, funeral costs or anything like that. So I figured I had that, but then when I went through this cancer, and the lady was like, "Well, your bill's gonna be like 700,000." I was like, "Oh my god," So I just felt like I didn't have it. So my wife went and did the GoFundMe, which I didn't want to do because I'm still driving a luxury car, still got a
Mhm.
luxury apartment, I still wear a lot of jewelry. So I didn't want to do it. But then once the bills came and we pawned the jewelry and we put stuff away, we realized that we need more money. We need help because there's nothing in hip hop that guarantees you health
Right.
insurance. So I had no help, you know what I mean? No help. So we doing a GoFundMe. It's doing what it can do. We got it linked to my insurance. So whatever goes to it goes right to my insurance. So and they keeping me in the hospital. I'm in the best hospital ever. I could have went to any hospital, and my insurance would have been low. The price probably would have been half, but I went to the best hospital and they doing their job.
I'm glad you're getting the best care possible, man. And it's crazy. Like, you mentioned that, sometimes pride can get the best of us.
Yeah.
And especially when you're in the limelight, people know your name and they're like, well, you Royal Flush, you're supposed to have it like that. But
Yes.
life be life, and you have kids. You know what I'm saying? Like, even the best artists these days can't just live off of music alone. And when I say the best, I mean like most popular ones.
Most
Like,
popular. Yes.
bro, you gotta make music, you gotta sell flat tummy tea, you gotta do it all.
but but that's what it was. It was my pride. And then after I did that, then I realized that there's a lot of people in my situation that kind of don't talk about it and hide because they don't want to tell people, or they don't want people to not help them. And I feel like I want to be the one that out speak and be like, no, talk about it, be about it, ask for help. Don't sit there and let yourself die. Nah, get up. And don't, it don't cost nothing to ask for help, man. And I'm getting the most love from every radio station, every rapper, every producer. So it was good to do it. So hopefully I'll be able to identify and let other people that's in my situation know that they didn't gotta be by themselves. Speak, talk.
Got you. And like even with the way you dealt with your diagnosis, is there anything you could have done differently that maybe could have caught it earlier? Like were you one of those people who only go to the doctor like, when a cough go on for too long?
Yeah, yeah. Or I diagnose myself. I would go to where they sell antibiotic in the deli. I buy antibiotic from the Spanish people.
Yo,
But
not bodega meds.
but yeah, yeah, and that's what it was, man. It was like you can't hide it to yourself, man. You got to let the world know what you're going through.
Indeed, man, and I'm glad to see the world hugging on you the way they are, man. And
Thank you, thank
how has
you.
the rest of your peers been, receptive? I mean, like it speaks volumes. The amount of people that are showing up for this benefit on the 25th at SOBs is good to see that love, man. And like, has anybody else came out that supported you that you actually didn't even know was aware?
Yeah, a lot of people like 50 Cent called me, Rosenberg, like so many people just called me and just gave me love, and that made me fight because when I went to the hospital, my doctor was looking at me like, say bye to your family, and then I was ready to say bye. I went home, I kissed my kids, and then I started seeing all the love. I was like, wait a minute, doctor. Is there something we can do? She said, we can do a double dose. She said, it might burn your skin, it might burn your nails. I said, well, let's do it and fight. And she's been doing it. And she said, I'm handling it well.
Nice. So, if you was to say, from the way when you felt when you was at your lowest, not necessarily with the diagnosis, but just battling the lymphoma to now, do you feel improved?
Mentally, I think physically my body's still dead, but I think mentally, my mind's still alive. It's still because now what happens is I had like diabetes, and when you're doing chemo, it kills your good and your bad
Right.
cells. So now my good cells that fought off my diabetes or fought off the flu, I have nothing. So now I could beat cancer and then catch a cold and die from that, or cut
Wow.
my finger and it won't heal. So it's a lot going on with other things instead of the cancer with me now. So now I gotta watch everything else in my body. I gotta watch what I eat. Certain months I gotta go on a liquid diet because my stomach won't to digest nothing. So there's other consequences, other complications I gotta go through, but I'm okay.
Got you, man. So, through all of this, what has been keeping you upbeat, outside from the love? Like, what do you do to entertain yourself, keep your mind off
Yeah.
things, and also stay sharp? Because there's still tons of people that want to hear from you.
Oh, I mean, far as like my everyday life, like dealing with the chemo, I can't really see, so I don't drive my kids to school like I normally do every day. But I still get up every morning and drive with my wife, so I still keep my daily routine. But I
Nice.
just I just can't do it the way I want to do it. But I still get up in the morning. I still help the kids. I still cook. So I just keep my daily routine. That's what keeps me alive. But even though I can't participate as much as I used to.
Yo, sometimes being there and just being present, speaks volumes. You may not necessarily be able to do all the things you want to do, but it's the fact that your kids know you were there. Do you have one or
Yes.
two?
I got three out of three. I got five altogether. I got
Okay.
two old ones, and then I got three that's with me. My 23, my 16. I mean, my 13 and my 7.
Wow, you got a crazy bingo card like I do. Like
I'm 26, 25, 23, 13, and 7.
24, 12, 11, and 5.
Oh,
All,
oh, 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 we
all
got the same.
boys.
Oh, wow.
It's like WrestleMania in here at all
Yeah,
times.
yeah, you got a basketball team.
Facts. I wish they were good at basketball. They're more like wrestling and soccer, but it is
Yeah.
what it is. But
I mean,
it's so dope to
that
have
that
those little ones be the battery in your back, though.
yeah, and that's my kids. Like my son is 7, and he's on a traveling soccer team. My daughter's 13, and she's #1 in New York in debate. She's the
Oh,
top speaker in New York for debate. So she's on the debate traveling team. So that type of stuff for being like a black guy and watching my kids, yeah, I want to see that because I ain't never know what debate was.
on the flip side of that, so like, when you was in school, right? Did you finish
Uh,
the whole 12 years and do college, or like you was one of the people who was like, yeah, nah, I'm go outside?
nah, in junior high school, think I got locked up and went to like spa fit, and then when I got to high school, that's when music came, and that was it. I stopped that and went to music.
Was there a particular song that like really clung to you growing up that made you realize that yeah, this is definitely something that I could see myself competing in?
Yes, because I was a street dude, so I was out in the street and getting money that way. So when I heard Coogee rap, I said, "There's a lane for what I do that I can explain my life over beats and listen to Coogee rap. That was the street life for me. So I was able to talk about what I did every day.
Word. Have you ever, like, and I know ghostwriters ain't supposed to talk, but I mean, your pen is notoriously ferocious. Have you ever ghostwritten for anybody?
A lot of times they would hire me, but they wouldn't hire me to ghostwrite. It'd be called sitting down right.
Okay.
So like if they sitting there and I could give them 2 or 3 bars, cool. But and then another thing when Old Dirty Bastard came home from jail, he was just signed to Rockefeller, and while he was doing his whole album, I sat down with him and we did the whole album together. You know what I mean? So like that, yeah. And I wrote for a lot of people that I signed contracts for that I can't mention. But yeah,
Like
yeah,
mama's the
I
word.
did. But yeah, I do write for a lot of people because I paint a picture.
Hmm.
And then and when I came out, a lot of people, you did an album rounded off to everything you did in life. So when it came to artists and they was talking about hustling, they really wasn't a hustler. They would call on me to get that, that part of the album done.
Ah, that makes a lot of sense now too. So I mean, Royal Flush, you were signed to TVT Records, and that was a hodgepodge of so many artists. And there's not too many boutique labels that exist like that today. What was it like being signed back then versus like some of the things that the artists experience now? Do you feel like you would have preferred to be like, if you could jump in a time machine, be an artist in today's, you know, landscape with the way deals are set up, or the way it was set up back then?
Well, I mean, back then we didn't know too much. I mean, but having a machine was like the best thing you could have. Um, and then being on TBT with me, remember I go up there and I see 9 Inch Nails. It was rock and roll. It was hip hop. It was reggae. There was so much going on that the label didn't really know how to promote me at the time.
Hmm.
And then when I was on tour with Mike Geronimo, I didn't realize that I set a buzz in New York where Def Jam was looking for me, Interscope was looking for me, and then TVT came on tour and actually signed me with Mike Geronimo on tour because they knew about the buzz in New York. So by the time I got back to New York, I was already signed to TVT and didn't know that all these other labels wanted me.
Wow. If you could have had your pick of the litter, knowing what you know now, would you have gone the same path, or would you have, pivoted and maybe went with a Def Jam or a East West or a Loud?
Yeah. I definitely, because I think at that time TVT didn't really know how to market me. They had so much other things. Steve Gottlieb, he was doing so much. He didn't know how to market me. Mike Geronimo was they baby, so they was trying to market him as much as they can. But even the time when he did the song with Puffy, I was like, Mike, I don't think we should do that right now. You know what I mean? So they just wasn't ready for me. That was it. But I mean, they helped me. They did as much as they can for me, but they just wasn't ready for me. I wish I would have went somewhere else.
Yeah, a lot of it is trial and error, man. You don't know what you know until you could look at the playback tape and be like, "Damn, man, I should have played it this way," or if I would have just said this, But
That's it.
but your story is your story, man. And I think, you're still not done writing your history. Like,
No,
hopefully this thing that you're going through and that you will triumph, man. I'm throwing that into the air, brother.
thank
This
you,
thing that you're
thank
going
you.
through that you will triumph will inspire people to just be a little bit more astute on their checkups. And then also, to the people out there who see the GoFundMe's, because I know sometimes people do a GoFundMe because they want to go to Jamaica. But,
I
to,
seen that. I
to
seen that.
the nervous of people, because there's really people going through it out here, right? But for you to be able to, with your head up high and tell your story and get that love and be completely transparent, man, it speaks volumes, man. So I'm gonna
Thank you.
drop the link for the GoFundMe down just in case
Thank you.
people can't make it out to the show. I'm gonna throw something in there too because brother, like
Thank you, bro.
I just can't stress enough how much guys like yourself, Capone and Nori, Coogee Rap, Big L, shoot, even going back to like MC Shan. I mean, like I
Chance,
know I'm keeping it
wow.
very Queens right now, but
Thank you, thank you.
I'm from the Bronx, by the way. But but even Pun, who I never got a chance to like meet in person, but I opened up for him in Austin before he passed. But
Wow.
you guys gave us something to aim for. Y'all made a bar that was so high that was like, yo, if I'm not writing at this level or trying to achieve this, then what am I doing here? You know what I mean? And I don't think y'all get enough, kudos and love for that at a time where it matters.
I totally agree. I mean, people got to realize when I was writing a rhyme, I had to listen to Raekwon, Nas, Capone, Nori. So my competition, I had to write something that was better than everything they write. So it wasn't like I got to listen to Bow Wow or a Soldier Boy and write.
Yeah, no, you guys were trying to fight for the smartest position in the AP class. Rap.
Yeah, yeah, rap. Not just music. You had to say the best lyrics. You had to put your words together. Your wordplay had to be amazing. So yeah, it was a lot of competition, but it kept me sharp.
Yo, out of everybody that you've done a feature with, who made you have to take a deep breath, you know what I'm saying, before you started putting the pen down? Because you knew you was working with somebody that was on your level.
I think I was working on my second album and I went to Chicago to do a song with Twista.
Okay.
And we went in there and we did a song called Pimps Up Hoes Down. And I was supposed to be there for one day. He laid his verse. I think I was in Chicago for 2 weeks before I got my verse. I said that's how competent. Oh my God, I didn't know what to say. He was such amazing. I just stayed there for 2 weeks and I wrote like a bar every day. But yeah,
There
I
are
did it
some
though.
people. There are some people who have such a style that no matter how good you are, you really got to just reassess your approach to how you going to jump on that record. I feel like Busta Rhymes is the same way. Even Ludacris has such a style of where like
Oh, unbelievable,
you got to figure it
unbelievable.
out before you go in there.
Oh, and as far as like New York, going to the studio with Big Pun, that was amazing to me. Like doing songs with Big Pun, doing songs with Big L, like unbelievable to me.
You worked with so many greats, man, and I think that speaks volumes to how great you are. You know what I mean? And
Thank you.
God don't make no mistakes, and you don't have this many brushes with dopeness by accident, man. You are where you're supposed to be. Past, present, and future, man. And I want everybody, especially if you're in the New York tri-state area, or even if you got a airplane connect. If you can make it to SOBs on the 25th to support my brother
Yes,
Royal
yeah.
Flush, pull up and do that. And also, if you can't do it, drop a little something in the GoFundMe link, which is below,
Thank you.
even if it's something as basic as $5. If 20,000 people did $5, we're closer to our goal. How far away are we from it?
I think we almost had. I mean, my family had set it at 300,000 to see, but I lowered it to 100,000. I think we had maybe like 35,000. Still a long way to go. When people don't realize that each time I go and do chemo, that's almost 30,000. So I'm on my fifth treatment. So y'all do them numbers on that.
Yikes. Wow. So you're on your fifth. Do you know how many you'll have to do overall?
I got to do 8, then I got to wait 8 weeks and then do a whole body scan again and see how the tumors is looking and the lymphomas is looking.
Got you. Since your last scan, as the numbers drop down?
Yes, the numbers haven't dropped. They shrink.
Okay.
The lymphomas did shrink, so it's cool now. They're not as big. They're not covering my lungs and my heart and my kidneys no more. So it's my body's moving around a little bit more.
Yo, to God be the glory, brother.
Thank you. Thank
Yo,
you.
indeed, indeed. Well, yo, I wish you continued success. I wish you maximum health and continue to empower people, man. And like the fact that you've made it this far, it gives people hope who maybe looked at a diagnosis similar to yours as a death sentence. And it doesn't have to be long as your mind is strong. Cause like, yo, half the battles is lost upstairs.
Yes, thank you, and thank you, man. Like I said, out of like all the bloggers and all the people, you're one of my favorites. I think that you just keep it real. You're solid. You don't bite your tongue, and it's people like you that keep me alive, baby. That's
Yo,
what
I
I'm talking
appreciate you,
about.
brother. I'm trying to be outside a lot more, so it is what it is, man. Well, yo,
That's right.
give my love to
Thank
your
you.
cuz Capone, man. Tell him
Thank
thanks,
you.
and much love to your missus and your
Thank you.
kids and
Thank
all
you.
the fans of Royal Flush around the world, man. Hopefully, they see you at the joint on the 25th.
I'll be there.
Easy does it,
Have
man.
a good one. Peace.
God bless. Peace.
Yeah.